At this point, it's not hard to see that XRP has broken records and achieved incredible milestones. The most recent achievement was the 4-month review of XRP futures by CME Group. Here we have the rationale for the momentum, desire for trusted regulated crypto goods, and the fact that XRP futures have hit their 4-month milestone. With 397,000 contracts traded and a notional volume of $18.3 billion, here is a month-end summary of XRP and micro XRP futures. About 213 million were sold every day on average. You can think of it as 6 billion XRP. Once more, this is a bet on future events. This job is not filled on an as-needed basis. Many individuals are underestimating the demand that spot-based ETFs will generate, and I want to emphasize that because of the ETFs. A futures contract is clearly displaying momentum if it is receiving this much support. A futures contract that can handle 6 billion worth of XRP volume in 4 months is clearly demonstrating demand. The next logical step is to increase that volume by a factor of 2, 3, or 4. This is the kind of volume that spot-based contracts can reveal. I assure you I am not being overly assertive. In my opinion, the market is not yet prepared for XRP ETFs that trade on the spot. By full-on ETFs, I mean those rather than the 80% weighted Rex Osprey one that we have. In this regard, Axler also provided us with some significant upgrades, didn't he? We touched upon this briefly. We are pleased to announce the launch of MXRP, a new liquid stake token with yield that will enable XRP holders to earn up to 10% APY and will initiate DeFi on the XRP ledger. We did, however, receive a detailed explanation of this. Axler has provided us with a wealth of new knowledge. Accordingly, Midas RWA will be issuing XRP tokens on the XRP ledger that are liquid staked and bear yield in accordance with a prospectus that has been approved by the European Union. Trust asset managers, such as Hyperrhythm, use delta-neutral strategies that have adapted to market conditions to provide a high risk-adjusted XRP yield. These strategies are compatible with DeFi universally with stroke finance, XP market, anodized finance, and other restricted jurisdictions, and they aim to achieve APYs of up to 10% denominated in XRP. On the other hand, I believe things will alter in due course. Additionally, the blueprint was provided by Ethereum. As a result, they are no longer involved with the recent events surrounding Ethereum. Therefore, Ethereum became the foundation of DeFi due to liquid-staked tokens such as ST Ethereum. New stablecoins, lending, and trading were all made possible by them, releasing billions of dollars worth of liquidity. As of right now, LSTs on Ethereum are responsible for on-chain trade volumes in the millions of dollars each day, and TVL worth over $60 billion. The XRP ledger will be activated via MXRP. This is a major issue now that we're considering it. There is a lot more potential surrounding the XRP ledger that this will open. We can observe that MXRP has quickly become a top pull on the XRP ledger, even though it has only been in circulation for 48 hours. Tyler XRP's MXRP XRP pull has risen to the position of 5th largest on the XRP ledger in just under 48 hours. The XRP ledger is witnessing an explosion of RWAS, and MXRP is demonstrating just how massive this may go. This is indeed a major matter. Moreover, Axler's Charlie Rosenthal has provided us with yet another significant update. A whale mint of 3 million MXRP, worth at 8.85 million, is available as a PSA to all XRP bulls. Plus, the vault is currently 96% full. I appreciate your looking into this. This really did transpire in a flash. There is an astronomical demand for these kinds of things, as this proves. Actually, it isn't an exchange-traded fund. Actually, that's not a futures contract at all. Around XRP, there are chances that can generate a return. Items such as these will always have a tremendous amount of demand. As more and more projects are released, for instance, I believe that the XRP ledger will be the epicenter of all this activity. Fast and efficient settlement at scale has been powered by XRP for over a decade, according to Flare's recent announcement. By adding composability to FXRP on Flare, we can expand that strength and unlock new growth potential. XRP represents DEFI's collateral, liquidity, and yield. Here we have FXRP. It's remarkably comparable to the situation with Axler. Even though it's not exactly the same, the XRP ledger now has F assets. The timing couldn't be better. If we consider the current momentum and all the events surrounding XRP, then DEFI is now a reality. Yes, but it's not limited to DeFi alone. In a flash, it's all there is. Everything from futures and ETFs to ETPs and DEFI to stablecoins and tokenization is booming. Big banks are starting to get involved. The XRP market is beginning to witness Ripple's expansion. It seems like everything is falling into place just right. Okay, I've covered XRP supply shocks now. I get it. Sometimes things seem too good to be true. The current state of affairs is going to cause XRP's value to skyrocket. Definitely not in a day. It will take more than a week. It will take more than 30 days, I'm afraid. In a year, it will not even occur. Yes, I understand. A year is not going to be enough time. However, please know that this is only the beginning. A fantastic road awaits us, and we intend to follow it. And this is what will cause XRP's value to skyrocket. Reason being, these are all products that are tied to demand. Recently, I came across a post on 24 Hours Crypto and decided to paraphrase it. If you still don't believe an XRP supply shock will occur at some time, I dare you to read this piece. With institutional acceptance picking up speed, I believe it's a foregone conclusion. People here don't seem to grasp just how little XRP is in circulation. We are talking about a percentage of 40% or more when we include Ripple's liquidity and escrow services. Ripple now has 37.3 billion XRP in escrow. Chris Larson has 2.3 billion, Arthur Brito has 1.3 billion, and the liquid Ripple holdings have 3.5 billion. With that, we have covered almost 44.4% of the supply. Next, you need to consider the role of institutional actors. There are 29.6 million XRP in the Purpose ETF, with 89 million valued at $3. 3IQ has 45 million more, for a total of 137 million at $3 each. Unlike multi-trillion-dollar corporations, they are very little businesses. Up to 15% of the total supply, if that. As soon as Goldman, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo join, billions more XRP will disappear into cold storage. Just so you know, the current price of XRP is $2.91. We will revisit this to requote it. Again, if we're being serious, a lot of large institutions and treasury businesses will jump on the XRP bandwagon. A large quantity of XRP will increase due to retail lockups involving goods like DEFI and yield-bearing chances, for instance. At this moment, I don't think many people are aware of the immense demand for XRP. The fact that institutional DEFI is also beginning to materialize on the XRP ledger is just the latest evidence of why I have been highlighting this for some time. On the 22nd, RippleX's developer posted about this. The role of institutional DeFi as the go-to open-source settlement layer for major international financial institutions has been further cemented. The roadmap is now moving on to the next step. Discover more about it in the original blog post or by exploring it below. In a moment, I will open the blog here. But first, let's review some things. With over $1 billion in stablecoin activity in its first month, the XRP ledger has broken into the top 10 chains for RWA tokenization during the past year. At the intersection of lending compliance, programmability, and tokenization, a new era is dawning. The most recent institutional DeFi roadmap for the XRP ledger details what is currently live and what is up for validator votes. It also showcases two big upcoming primitives, a native lending protocol and zero-knowledge proofs, which will enable privacy with accountability. Moving forward, the focus will be on the features that institutions need to run fast, secure, and simple operations on the chain. Now live, DID-tied credentials for KYC and regulatory authorization verification, deep freeze to stop illegal transfers from flagged accounts, simulate for testing risk-free transactions, and enhancements to token escrow and AMM for institutional settlement. The next step in the roadmap is the introduction of MPTS, or multi-purpose tokens, which can natively hold assets. When it comes to tokenized assets, this is going to rock the boat. After that, low-cost conforming credit will be enabled by the native lending protocol in XRP Ledger V 3.0.0. One of the most popular uses of TVL in the DeFi industry is lending and borrowing. Therefore, this lending protocol is sure to shake things up. The next step for institutional markets is zero-knowledge proofs, which will combine privacy with auditability. Finally, on a worldwide scale, adding additional stablecoins, RWAS, lending, compliance, tolling, and privacy directly at the protocol level is no easy feat, but the XRP ledger community and developers have shown they can pull it off. Exactly. The goal is to establish DeFi in institutions on a large scale, bring something up to speed that is so revolutionary that we didn't think it could get much better after this. But you know what? With the addition of native smart contracts and a native lending pool, the XRP ledger is experiencing one of its biggest updates yet in 2025, which paves the way for institutional DeFi. This is happening at this very moment, and it's really insane. It's timed perfectly. Again, this is something I'm quite enthusiastic about because of the enormous use cases that will be made possible by tokenization and credit on-chain. The use cases we're discussing are ones that businesses and other institutional players will be interested in. You won't often see a use case worth $1 billion like this. Yes, there are countless use cases worth trillions of dollars. Plus, we have players scheduled in advance. Because BlackRock and Morgan Stanley are two of Securitize's backers, we recently discussed their cooperation with Securitize. The foundation of this is tokenization. Oh, and by the way, Franklin Templeton and DBS Bank teamed together not long ago. Tokenization was the foundation upon which this rests. These kinds of shifts are occurring regularly. When we factor in the supply, futures, ETFs, DeFi expansion, including retail, and other factors, it's simple to see how this might lead to a utility-based network effect, which has not happened before in this market. The Bitcoin network effect is a good analogy, though. Just regular people buying and storing Bitcoins created a network effect. I'm done. Although some trading did take place, the primary drivers were supply and demand. When it comes to XRP, you can expect to see it purchased, stored, and secured in liquidity pools. The escrow remains with you. You can also expect to see institutional investors with XRP on hand. XRP is in short supply. The supply of XRP is severely inadequate. Therefore, a significant increase in price is necessary. You may expect XRP prices to skyrocket. On that, I am totally certain. Finally, the simplest formula for it is supply and demand. So, I hope you all had fun seeing this video. If you did, please support my free content by subscribing, leaving a like, and enabling notifications. I would be honored if you could follow me on Twitter and sign up for the free Discord server that is mentioned in the description below. This has been Nick Tings watching, and I thank you for your time. Have a nice day. This was transcribed using turboscribe.ai. Remove this message by subscribing to Unlimited.